Three, two, one, go. Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Baited. Hi guys.
I fucking hate you. Hello,
Love you
everybody,
too.
and welcome to the Hooligans podcast. Today, this might honestly be one of our longest episodes because
Hopefully.
we have so many topics to talk about. There's a lot of shit that's gone down.
It has been a month, I believe. Or no, not since the last
No, not. It hasn't been a month. It's been
week and a half,
like, yeah,
something
no,
like
no, no.
that.
I think it's been a little bit over 2 weeks.
Oh,
It's like
let's
close to a
go.
month almost.
Breaking records, taking
Yes,
names. I like
sir.
it.
I mean, yeah, I said this on the description of at the most recent Anchor episode, but it's not in the
Mm-hmm.
description on our YouTube. I said because of school and just we took a break, obviously, and because of that it's caused our schedule with the podcast to be really um what's the word, chaotic, I guess, and
Yeah,
not what it usually will be in the future, hopefully.
very consistent.
Hopefully we'll get it back on track to be more consistent.
To be honest, I don't know what happened. Just sort of went a little cuckoo crazy. But now I've
Yeah,
mellowed
neither do
out.
I.
So
I think it's more like has to do with school ramping up
yeah,
and almost finishing.
we're
Hopefully over the
we're
summer we'll be
close
able to
though.
do it.
We're in the final 9 weeks. I'm so
Yep.
excited for school to end.
Same,
Can't wait.
I'm so excited to get that done.
It's oh my god, this summer is gonna be amazing. It's a white boy summer if you haven't heard.
No.
We are in fact white boys, so
We are white boys in the summer.
it's great. You wanna go ahead and get started?
Yeah, so sorry, let me readjust myself in my seat. Our first topic of interest is gonna be everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine. Now, I take it, Charlie, that you don't even know anything about this at all.
Nope, never heard of Ukraine. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
But you know how Ukraine borders Russia and all that, and it was at one point a part of the Soviet Union, and I think at one point just originally a part of Russia. But I think Russia wants it back, basically. They've been massing troops on the Ukraine border, and very recently they sent over tanks that had invasion stripes on it to the
Wow.
Ukraine border.
So they're
Yeah.
like directly signaling this is about to
Yes,
happen.
and Biden called him up about it and was like, "Yo, if you do this, we're supporting Ukraine." And Biden said, I'd like to have a summit if you're willing to."
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the Czech Republic offered like Prague to go and meet there because they needed a third party country to go and meet at.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're gonna do it yet. That's all I know about that. But yeah, just a very interesting scenario that if it happens, could cause World War III. So that's awesome.
That sounds like the Cold War all over again. I'm sort of confused. What would Russia actually gain from reclaiming Ukraine? Like,
They would gain Ukraine.
well, yes, but what does Ukraine have to offer? I mean,
Ukraine.
besides positioning and I
Listen,
guess
I don't know why they want
resources.
it. They just want Ukraine, and they've been very adamant about it.
That is that's gonna be really interesting. I guess we'll have to
Yeah.
follow up with our World War III podcast episode.
Yeah, I suggest everyone to pay attention to that story because if things escalate, it's gonna affect your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest even if you don't give a crap about, did I say crap? If you don't give a shit about politics, you should follow through with that.
I thought you were gonna say I'm sorry for cursing, but then you just doubled down. Yeah, we don't give a shit about you. World War III is coming now. That
But yeah,
that's
basically, if
scary.
it happens, it'll be like all of NATO versus
Mhm.
Russia.
I hope
But
Putin comes to his senses. I don't see this as a high risk or sorry. What am I trying to say? I don't see this as an overall victory for him, and I don't
yeah,
understand the entire his reasoning behind wanting to do this. So
I
he's a
don't either.
strange man.
He is. The strange things. Our next topic. You probably heard about him, maybe. I don't know. He's been in the news a little bit. He's a representative from Florida. His name is Matt Gaetz. And he's been accused of sex trafficking. This is kind of an old story, about a month old probably.
Hmm.
But basically, he tried to convince a 17-year-old to cross state borders for sexual activities, which by definition, that's by definition that is sex trafficking. It's like
Wow.
not like your a niche what you think of when you think of
Hmm.
sex trafficking, but if you look at the definition of the law about sex trafficking, that would qualify.
So is he being like pursued, or charges being filed against him currently?
Yes, I heard that he was negotiating a plea deal at one point,
Hmm.
but I also heard recently, if I can find the article real quick, that he paid the wingman that helped him because he did more than just this sex trafficking, by the way. There's been a bunch of girls on his staffing that have come out about him sexually harassing.
Oh, so this isn't like a misunderstood type of event. This is
No, 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 no. This is several
deeper than
people
that.
coming
Okay.
out saying that this is a horrible fucking person. If I can find it, basically he paid his wingman through Venmo to Venmo the other girl's money.
Wow.
And I'm just thinking, why would you use Venmo?
That's not the smartest, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Matt
Easily
Gates' wingman
trackable.
paid dozens of young women and a 17-year-old. It
Oh
says
my
Venmo payment
gosh.
records reveal a vast network of young women received money from Matt Gates' associate, the accused sex trafficker Joel Greenberg. Oh, so he had someone else do the sex trafficking for him.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm kind
That's
of I don't know the full extent of the situation, but how old is he? Do you know?
Matt Gates,
Yeah.
36,
And the girl was 17.
17. That's weird, bro.
It is weird, but legally speaking, I mean the age of consent here is 16.
16.
So if the girl was legally consenting, I'm kind of on that moral fence. Like, is it really our right to judge? But law
I see what you mean,
speaking,
but the thing
I
is, I
get
don't
it.
know if they ever went through with those sexual activities.
Yeah. Okay. Because
I just,
that would be different.
mm-hmm. I believe it'd be a federal charge though, and federal law says the age of consent's 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure sex trafficking is a federal crime. So they wouldn't look at state age of
Okay.
consent. They would be looking at the federal one.
So is he out of a job right now, or
No, he's
what's
still in
going on?
fucking Congress right now.
That is so bizarre to me.
Cause there hasn't been any charges like, he hasn't been accused of being guilty.
Yeah, even though he's being investigated currently.
Investigated by the fucking Department of Justice, dude.
I feel like that should be a thing. You know, if you're in an ongoing investigation, any work that you do should be put on hold.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, yeah, you can start voting after we figure out how many kids you sexually traffic. That is
I
awful.
agree. Yeah, I don't know why he's still able to keep voting on bills and writing. It's pretty
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Well, I feel bad for the family. I hope that that girl was coming willingly and not pressured.
Yeah,
But
I hope it was at least willingly.
yeah,
Still pretty weird, 17-year-old and 36-year-old.
that for a second, I thought it would be one of those
No, it's
Carson
not like a
cases,
Carson
but then I
situation.
realized he's a congressman. So
Hmm. I saw a meme and it was like, if you ever feel down on your luck about dating, just remember Matt Gates didn't get his first high school girlfriend until he was 36.
oh my gosh, that is the
Pretty
best.
fucked up.
Too soon.
So, the next one is absolutely insane.
I almost
Like,
don't want to talk about this one.
I almost feel scared to talk about
Yeah.
it. This is a news story, like, today came out. You all remember Marjorie Taylor Greene? We talked about her in a past episode. When her antics first started, when we first discovered who she actually was. Well, she's back, and she started a caucus within Congress called America First. And, it sounds fascist when you read
Hmm.
what their message is. It is not something you'd like to read. And here's like a big part of it is This sentence is really what gets me most. It's that America is a nation with a border and a culture, strengthened by a common respect for uniquely Anglo-Saxon political traditions. That is just,
That's a big yikes.
yeah, it's a, because that's not what American culture is.
That's not what we've been taught. We've always been taught it's this big melting pot of cultures,
Yeah,
religion, diversity, which it, for the most part, is, you know?
yeah. For the most part, America is this big, diverse nation that has people from all over the world in it.
Hmm.
And that's kind of been the whole thing about America, is people come here to start a better life.
Yeah, it's the promised land. But
Yeah.
we talked a little bit earlier of how America does have a sort of stereotype, you know, the American pride and whatnot, but that
Hmm.
you can't lump all these people into that because
Oh my, okay,
the
sorry.
majority definitely doesn't
I
fit in
just
there.
read the coronavirus section of this. I hadn't read this. It
Oh, does it
says
talk about that too?
it
Oh
talks about
boy.
COVID and it's basically saying talking so it says ever since the outbreak, first known case of coronavirus, they issued several guidelines and policies that would hinder and destroy the American economy in many ways. These guidelines, which include mask mandates and social distancing rules, are socially conditioning the culture and behavior of Americans.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
So they are.
Additionally to
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, Additionally to truly enforce social distancing and hopefully diminish the spread of the disease, many state governors have decided to lock down their states, meaning that businesses deemed non-essential are not allowed to open and provide service. Blah blah blah. Never mind. It's not that important. But the last um sentence is really what gets me about the coronavirus section. It says, "The America First Caucus will work to make sure we do not overreact to a pandemic in the same way again."
Oh man.
Overreact? We
Feel like we
underreacted.
underreacted big time. We
That's
were
why we have the most
unprepared.
cases, because we underreacted.
That
Because our
is.
president told
Oh
us,
man.
"Oh, don't worry, it'll be gone by Easter. You better have Easter with your family, not even worry about it." Because our
Exactly.
president told us that everything will be gone by July 4th. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
We downplayed it too hard to the point that we suffered the worst consequences.
Yeah.
Man, so who's in this party so far? It's only what, three
Um,
people? Four?
Let me try and find it. I believe it is only 3 or 4 people as of right now. We have. That's not it.
The main gal, Marjorie, for sure.
Yup. So we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar from Arizona. Don't really know that guy. I don't know what the rest of. I only know Marjorie.
Hmm.
Um, Barry Moore from Alabama, and Louis Gohmert from Texas. And that's it so far.
So not
But
a very stacked roster quite yet.
yeah, Charlie is hoping that no one else will join and kind of thinks that no one else will join. But I believe they'll be able to get at least 10 to 15 more members.
I don't know.
But
I'm optimistic that the majority of even Republicans are going to realize this is so far off the beaten track.
well,
Like,
a Republican has spoke out about it. He said the hatefulness of this statement is only surpassed by its ignorance of American history and values, which is exactly what we were saying, saying
mhm.
that's not how we were taught American history is. We were taught that it's not Anglo-Saxon. We're taught it's um, a diverse nation.
Yeah, it's sort of undermining the legitimacy and culture that
Yeah,
America has worked so hard to create. We'll have to follow
and
up with that, but I hope they don't pick up more steam. I really don't.
yeah, it's fucked up. And they pretty much just ignore Native Americans in their environment section. They talk about how fishermen and hunters have deep ties to the land, but they don't talk about how Native Americans would have deep ties to their land.
Fishermen and hunters. Listen,
Yeah,
that is terrible. I go bass fishing about twice. I don't have deep ties to any land.
I know,
What
right?
what, what does that even mean?
It says the impact on. They said that they want to balance gold mines, copper mines, and oil wells to preserve opportunities for hiking, camping, and enjoying the visual beauty of our lands. They're calling climate change as this issue that's to keep our country looking beautiful. It's not. It's this issue to keep our planet alive.
I was gonna say it's much deeper than aesthetics.
They're talking about if Americans want to conserve the environment, they should push for better waste management and other substitute remedies. It's not about
Wow.
conserving the environment and making it look pretty still. It's about saving the world from killing itself in a couple hundred years, maybe even sooner than that.
It's about having the environment.
Yeah,
We won't.
it's all of this is just so fucked up. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I mean, did you say earlier you thought Trump would join it if
I
given
think
the
Trump would back
opportunity?
this. Because his whole message was America first.
Yeah.
And it literally says in the second paragraph of their whole big message, it says, members of the AFC to follow in President Trump's footsteps. So,
I think that'd be really interesting if he were to join to see how many others would follow in step.
if he were to publicly say that, oh yeah, I support the America
Mhm.
First caucus, there'd probably be like 5 congressmen who would join it just to secure themselves an election.
Yeah, I
They might not
agree.
even believe in it, but they want to secure an election.
At least 5 would hop on that.
Yeah.
That is so sad that they would join something they don't fully believe in just to win an
Mhm.
election. Gosh, it's the worst.
And when they talk about education in this, they say that our education has worked to actively undermine pride in America's great history and is actively hostile to the civic and cultural assimilation necessary for a strong nation. And that's the sentence I was telling you about that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? The necessary cultural assimilation? What?
They don't like the image that is being taught. Is it because it's the truth?
I guess so. And it says that it's attacking American pride. I don't know, man. When I've been growing up, I've been taught to
Yeah.
be proud of how good we did in World War II and World War One. I've been taught to be proud that we did all this stuff and we're such a great country. I've been taught to be proud about that.
I have to. I mean, the only examples I can think of are we do learn about all the bad stuff, of course, you know,
Yeah,
slavery and
if they
whatnot,
don't
but
slide it under the rug like, oh no, slavery didn't exist.
I wonder if that's what they would want to
Yeah, is that, I
propose,
was
you
about to say,
know?
is that what they want? Do they
Yeah.
want us to slide slavery under the rug and say, oh, it never happened. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Or the
Like,
Revolutionary War or Vietnam or any of
I guess
these.
that's fair because we are taught about, like, in history class today, we talked about how Japanese Americans were discriminated at the start of World War II for us,
Hmm.
how African Americans were still segregated in the military, and how women were still oppressed, even when they got to go into the workforce finally.
We're taught these things, but I think it's like incredibly important that we learn them, even if we might
Oh,
not
it's
want to hear it,
extremely important.
just because we can't repeat this. It was the
Yeah,
biggest failure of American history is slavery.
definitely. Oh my God, yeah. Because we were like 100 years behind other countries
Oh
on
yeah.
getting rid of slavery.
We were a laughing stock. Everyone else
Hmm.
was looking at us like, you
What
have
is
no
wrong with
right
you?
to tell us what to do. You still treat African Americans as second
Yeah.
class citizens. It's like, it's the only thing Stalin had against us. He could actually hold over our head. He's like,
No, no, I told you, you can't. Stalin was the
oh
1960s.
my god, dude. Who am I thinking of?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Stalin was in the
I'm
60s.
thinking of the Russian dude before them. You don't know who that? I don't know who that is. Anyway.
Maybe you're thinking of Britain in the War of 1812?
Could be. Could be. I've been
I don't
jumbled
know.
up.
You're kind of fucking stupid.
That is true. All
Oh yeah,
right.
and they ended off with basically saying that they hate China.
I mean, they had to say it somewhere. It's only a matter of time. That's funny.
Actually, I kind of agree with this, and a little bit, because they're
Whoa.
saying, hey, it's
Right.
saying, it's talking about American corporations that are placing short-term financial interests at the expense of basic human decency in China. Because you know how
Oh
they can
yeah,
just
I can see
have
that.
like fucking sweatshops in China.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason they want it is because they want America. They want people to be putting their businesses in America. I don't care if they put it in China as long as the people there are given basic human rights.
Yeah, exactly. There, I don't understand all the laws that go into play with that, but there needs to be more regulation on outsourcing and how
Hmm.
Nike just has these sweatshops. It's crazy to me how it's still allowed, but then
And
again, I'm
they ended it off with, "We understand the rise of China means that the United States must be prepared militarily and economically to compete with a peer competitor."
wow. I feel like they didn't need to add that part in, but
Right? I
it's
just
just
didn't
like a
need to.
cherry on top. They're like, oh, by the way, China, we're ready.
Fuck China.
Yeah, fuck you guys. Try us with
I
that.
like that video Chris showed us. "You fucking suck."
Yeah.
That's what they said.
That's out of left field. You want to talk about Texas?
Sure. This is a shorter one compared to what we just talked about. But Texas yesterday decided to pass a law that you don't need a permit to go carry your gun into your local Walmart anymore. If you own a gun, you can go carry it. You don't need to get a concealed carry permit or
Mm.
even an open carry permit. Just walk right in. It's fine.
I'm not
That's
surprised that this
fucked
is
as
in
hell.
Texas.
Oh, neither am I, because Texas is still one of the only states that has open carry
Yeah,
even allowed. But it's still fucked.
it's so wrong that you wouldn't have to have a permit. I mean, that seems like a very basic thing. If you're going to
Yeah,
have the ability to wield a gun, you should
and
have wield a
it
permit.
they're calling it the law of constitutional carry. But if you look at the Second Amendment, it says nothing about the fact of not. It doesn't say that having to have a permit to carry your gun outside is violating the Second Amendment. Because it just says
Yeah.
owning weapons. It doesn't say your right to carry them outside of your home and walk around and load it in front of people.
I mean, you have a right to bear arms, but that
Yeah,
right sort of stops at a Walmart or bank door, usually, you know?
exactly.
You,
Yeah.
you don't go into a business with a
It's interesting
loaded
to me that
firearm.
like movie theaters, no one argues about the fact that you can't take guns in the movie theaters.
Mm-hmm. I guess people just understand. Movie theaters have gotten shot up so many times. It's just,
Yeah.
it's one place you don't take
First
shit
one is
in.
1865. My boy Abraham Lincoln. Rest
Yeah.
in peace.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that. That is sad.
Exactly. Man
Gosh.
got shot in a movie theater, basically.
He was watching Big Hero 6. Golly. Rest in peace.
Not watching pictures. Oh my god.
I am in full support of undoing this bill, however, possibly.
I wish the governor of Texas would veto it, but I doubt he will. I don't even know who
Yeah.
the governor of Texas is, but
I wonder what the people actually feel about this.
oh, I'm sure they fucking hate it, except for like I'm like Houston. They're probably scared out of their minds.
Yeah. Uh,
All right, the next one, you came up with this one. I don't really know a lot about this one. You told me about it, but I don't know much.
this one's short and sweet, but quite funny to me. So, there's a big YouTuber, much bigger than us, not by much.
Mhm. Not by much. We're catching up.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
worry.
close. Name's Steven Crowder. He's a conservative.
You probably
And
never heard of him.
yeah, he's crazy. But I was watching one of his podcast episodes because I like to take information from both sides whenever I can. And he had one segment called Neon Neck, basically. He was reenacting the George Floyd death, where he had two fake police officers kneel down, one on the back of his neck and the other on his legs, for 10 minutes. And this was basically, I'm not exactly sure what he was aiming to accomplish, but from what I gathered, he was like, there's no possible way George Floyd died by this, even though it was proven that caused his death. So I don't
It's
understand why
so
they're still
fucked up.
fighting this. It was clearly caught on camera in 4K. Like, dude,
They said we
yeah,
caught you in 4K, bro.
yeah, it's so disgusting. And the entire time they're like making jokes and all throughout the episode, they're just roasting everyone, and it's
They're not roasting George Floyd, are they?
no, I'm not sure. I don't
I
think
hope
so.
not, because then, holy shit,
That'd
that's
be
really
bad.
fucked up.
But still, it's a terrible way to honor someone's memory, even if that person was like, even if you disagree with how they
Hmm.
died, you shouldn't
Yeah.
reenact their death.
For
That
real.
is terrible.
Like, if a conservative Republican died like that and a Democrat was like, there's no way he died like that, they'd be
Yeah,
like, you're so fucking rude. How dare you do that? How dare you
exactly.
disrespect a dead man like that? I don't care what side you're on. But then it's George Floyd and the Democrats like him. They're like, huh, this is funny.
This is hilarious. It's despicable, and I'm disgusted because I used to love the guy. I used to watch him every day. I'd be like, oh yes, gun
I had
talks
that.
changed my
I had that.
mind.
I had that face with Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah, I used to watch those SJW own
Yo,
compilations. That it was
I feel like
they're really
I feel like
funny.
every 15-year-old had that phase where they would watch some conservative media,
Oh
some
yeah,
form of it.
I think they
I
have
don't know. In my experience,
I think they have a
almost all
different
everyone that I
form
know.
of entertainment value. You know,
Hmm.
they're entertaining, and I don't really know how to pinpoint it, but
They're
I guess
entertaining because the man talk fast. He own person.
it's just it's constant like aggression and talking quickly. And I
Know
don't know.
your facts, people. And
Know
then you
your
look at the
facts.
facts and they know nothing and they're actually just lying to you.
He always goes, "Do your research." It's like no one does.
No
But
one does because they distrust your word.
so I just wanted to throw that in there. It was pretty controversial. I think it was on Twitter and whatnot. People were talking about it. So
I feel like it wasn't. I'm surprised it wasn't talked about more. It's pretty fucked up.
honestly, yeah, out of anything, I'm surprised they get canceled. You know,
I
he
people.
he's
I feel like people have given up canceling him.
he's done a lot in the past, but this is something that I mean, riots were fought over. You know,
True, true.
people on Twitter get angry for much less.
That's true. They do get angry for a lot less.
Should have just said K-pop and something, and then it'd be game over. I love those people. They're insane.
So our next segment of the show is gonna be talking about Biden finally saying, being the president to say we're getting those troops out of Afghanistan. Now, Trump did set a due date, but he got kicked out of office
Yeah.
before his due date hit in place. Trump said he wanted it out by May 1st. Biden at first said September 11th. He wanted to be symbolic, I guess, but he backtracked, said May 1st, met Trump's date.
Which I'm happy
And
with.
yes, I feel like majority of people are happy about getting these troops out of Afghanistan after 20 years.
As quickly as possible. Yeah.
And because there's a mixed response from the GOP. You got Mitch McConnell saying that this is a grave mistake and that we're leaving before the battle's actually over. But then you got Ted Cruz saying, I can't wait to see our troops be back home.
That is so funny. I mean,
Like,
okay, well,
based Cruz. Holy shit.
yeah. What's your take on this?
I think this is a great thing. We need to get those guys out of there.
Okay. I
It's been
I agree for the most part.
It's been 20 years, and what Mitch McConnell said is just not true. We went there because of 9/11. Bin Laden is dead. Saddam Hussein is dead.
They've been dead for
We're
what, 10 years now?
10 years. Yeah, it's been a while. We're ready to leave. And Biden said that he'll continue supporting. They'll continue supporting those countries in a diplomatic way and providing them resources, just not in a military way. Because those troops, we've lost a lot of people in Afghanistan. It's time to get them home.
I agree. I think first off, the people don't necessarily love us.
Yeah, true.
I think
They
we've
don't
been
like
in
us being
there
there.
for far too long. We accomplished the mission a long time ago, and the fact that we remain in there has only prolonged issues. But the
Hmm.
only thing I'm worried about is the fact that we've been there for so long. People have been born and literally raised underneath, our military protection.
That's
I,
a holy shit.
I mean, there are kids still being born who have just known these U.S. soldiers outside their doors. And I'm just worried about the effects it will have both on the normal population as well as different Taliban groups that might come out of this and just take over again.
That is. I, sorry, I just whenever you said that there's kids who have been
Hmm.
raised under our military protection, I just tuned out everything you said. I was thinking about that. I'm sorry,
It's
but
it's weird, isn't it?
it's weird to think that kids in Afghanistan are just growing up seeing U.S. troops there.
Older than us too. I
Yeah,
mean,
older than us, which is crazy. They've been there longer than us.
mhm. I just, I, I'm on the fence about it. I guess what we can only see what happens when it happens.
I did see that some people said that with U.S. troops leaving, the Taliban might take over the government,
Yeah, could be.
which is a scary thought. But I've also heard a lot of people say that they need to deal with their own shit. It's time to get us home.
That is another fair
Which
point. I,
yeah, which it isn't our country, naturally. I know,
hmm
but the USA since the Cold War has been helping other nations.
But we've been losing the lives of too many good men for a country that almost seems
And
irredeemable at this point.
and at this point, it's no longer supported really by the American people.
Hmm.
The
Oh,
American
definitely
people
not.
don't like this war anymore. That's the only I mean, that's the only reason the Vietnam War had to have the draft, is because everyone was like, "What? Why the fuck are we doing this?"
Hmm. And we're
Because they
learning in
didn't.
class that's why we ended up losing the war, basically, is because we pulled out too soon. Is because
Yeah.
the media and everyone was like, let's get our troops home. We don't
Mhm.
need to be here.
I think the worst part about the Vietnam War was how the troops were treated when they got home.
Oh, they weren't welcome at all. It wasn't their
It's not
fault.
even. I know. It really fucks
Pisses
with
me
me
off.
that they got hated on, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like first you install the draft, you take us, we have to kill, we lose brothers, and then we come home.
And we come home to an ungrateful nation.
Yeah,
It's fucked up.
I
I
think
think, but
we've adjusted though.
yes, I definitely think we have. Like, Vietnam veterans are definitely more respected in
Hmm.
today's culture. But it just sucks that they couldn't come home immediately to a grateful nation.
Oh, it's so sad. That
Like,
entire time period is
anyone who
crazy.
goes to Afghanistan is pretty much coming home to a grateful nation.
Hmm.
We don't blame them for being there.
I don't even really know who to blame at this point. They've been in here
Or,
for so long, and it's just.
like, I have a cousin who was in the military who went to Afghanistan,
Hmm.
and he was he would control like this little, for lack of, I don't know the actual term, but RCXD that would go
Yeah.
in. It would go in, but instead of having a bomb on it, it would go in and defuse the bomb.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and he would control it. He was a demolitions expert, which
Nice.
is really awesome.
Yeah, I recently watched
Yeah.
the Afghanistan movie, and it
Yeah,
was
you told me about that.
it was really emotional because it was about this outpost basically in the middle of a valley, and it was surrounded by mountains. And at the end, there was this big battle, and there was so many Taliban just shooting down at them. And eventually, they closed down the outpost. This is all a true story because it was
Mm.
considered a indefensible position.
Wow.
It's like, why build it?
That's
It's just, oh man, and even in the movie, which is apparently accurate as well, all the locals hated them. Every single
wow.
one. They're like, "Why are you here? You are you've invaded us, and then you're basically telling us what to do."
Yeah.
It, I mean,
I can I can
Afghanistan. Go
I
ahead.
can understand the Afghan people not liking us being there.
Hmm. I'm sure some are
Cause
grateful, but
yeah, but I'm sure there's a good portion that are like, just let us
hmm
live our lives at this point, man.
yeah, because at this point they probably see us as the foreigners who just bombed their lands.
Yeah, we're probably the foreigners that fuck everything up at this point.
Hmm. Things may honestly be better if we're gone, even under the Taliban's rule, which might be a hard take, but
Yeah,
at least there won't be as many civilian casualties. Hopefully, not every there won't be
hopefully.
bombings
But
and whatnot.
it'll, I guess if the Taliban gets control, I guess we could see the first anarchist country.
Yeah, that would be
Because
bizarre to see.
that's a political theory I just don't comprehend.
I don't
Like,
fully
so your
understand
political
any of it.
theory is anarchy? Sounds,
Yeah,
yeah, no, sounds good. Yeah, no, okay, makes sense.
the best government is no government. In
Holy
fact,
shit.
the last thing I want to say is Afghanistan. 58% of America approves of Biden's job on fighting terrorism. So that was from The Hill. Just wanted
Like,
to throw
that's a
that out
recent
there.
article.
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising because I remember people being really upset with him whenever he bombed Syria in like his second week.
Did he?
Well, Republicans liked it, but Democrats were
Yeah.
like,
Well,
"Uh,
what do Republicans think about leaving Afghanistan?
I told you about, well, I don't know about like non-politician Republicans.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen a poll about that. I just know the response from Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
I think most people are gonna be okay with getting the troops home.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It only seems like a positive when you really look at the basics. American
Yeah,
lives are being saved, which
I
should,
agree.
as fucked up as it is, it's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, you want to move on?
Well, yeah, sure. So our next one is kind of a shorter topic. Hold on, sorry. Mitt Romney. I don't know, some of you might know him because he ran for president in 2012, and he's also a very moderate Republican. And Kirsten Sinema, I believe I've heard her last name before, but I don't know her very well. But she's a Democrat, Mitt Romney's a Republican, and they're both working on a bipartisan minimum wage bill. Since the $15 minimum wage got cut out, since Republicans didn't support it, um, they're working on a bipartisan one that'll get support on both sides of the aisle because both sides of the aisle seem to agree that a minimum wage needs to increase.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't seem to agree that it needs to go up to 15, which in a way I lean Republican there because 15 might hurt us with just such a big increase so fast.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to go from 725 to 15. It's too big of a jump with
Yeah, and
too
this
little of a
bipartisan
notice.
one, people are guessing that'll be around $10 to $11 around that area, which I feel like that would get passed.
Mm-hmm. I could very well see that being passed. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be a step in the right direction.
And it's a good way for the economy and America as a whole to sort of test the waters to see if this works, and then it could set up future guidelines for slowly
Yeah,
increasing.
I don't know, I feel like a law stating that the minimum wage could increase, I don't know, 50 cents every year. That doesn't, I don't know, maybe that's a bit extreme. 25 cents
I
every
mean,
year? I don't
it's
know.
not really a bit extreme because with inflation, it's meant to be at 20 bucks right now.
Yeah.
I think it should move with that line, and it's a bit too late to overcorrect, and I guess that's what Biden was trying to do, was to go to the 15, but I'm just
Yeah.
worried about the repercussions that it could have on the economy. We'll see though.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. There's just a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm. That would be exciting though. 10 or 11 bucks. I mean, from a dude who made 725 at one point, that shit adds up quickly. You know,
Yeah, it definitely does.
e- each cent matters. Especially 10 bucks. I mean, that would just be amazing.
Yeah, that's substantially better than 725.
I don't know if it's livable quite yet, but we're
Probably,
getting there.
it's probably livable in South Carolina.
Could be some spots for sure.
Get a half decent apartment building, get paid 11 bucks an hour. You might be able to live on that.
It's really
Yeah,
hard to justify
if you
livable wage though.
it is, yeah.
I
If you
mean,
manage your money correctly, I think you'd be able to manage or be able to live on 11 bucks
probably.
an hour.
It's just so confusing to me because there are some places, I mean, even here, if you live on the coast, you can get like a small little shack for $1 million. But if you live inland somewhere, you can get a much bigger house for much cheaper.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand what different factors play into that, but
Like I think I saw something that like my house right now that I have, it would be like $1 million in California.
would it really? Jeez.
And we bought this for like 230,000.
I mean, that seems fair. You know, I wonder
Your
what it would
house,
be in like,
your house would probably be like 1.5 million, I feel like, in like LA.
yeah,
Actually, in LA, it'd probably be like 6 mil because they don't have houses
probably.
there.
Gosh, that is so bizarre
LA
to
doesn't
me.
do houses, they do apartments.
That would be fun, I think. I'd like to live in a fancy apartment one day.
Yeah, but I'd also like to own a house one day.
Oh, yeah. I'd much rather own a house. But, I don't know. Living in a skyscraper just has an appeal to it.
I agree, it does.
Looking over all the plebeians and whatnot.
Alright, so that's kind of a shorter one. Another shorter one too. I could talk about this one for a little bit. But, so we all know how Trump wanted to fight the immigration issue that we have in America, which it is a crisis. I mean, crisis, not issue. But it very much is a crisis, especially when we have kids living inside of boxes on our border. It's, by definition, an immigration crisis. We can't ignore it. Both administrations have had to deal with it. Now, both have taken very, very different approaches.
Yeah.
Trump said, "Yo, Mexico, what's up? Hey, I'm gonna build this wall right here. You're gonna pay for it." And Kamala Harris and Biden, well, Kamala Harris is the head of this task force, and they're going to try and go into these countries and figure out the root of these issues as to why people are mass migrating out of there. Figure out if we can help these countries to improve so that they're not mass migrating to America.
That's interesting. Okay.
So yeah, they want to be able to go to like Honduras, Panama, Guatemala, Mexico, and just see why is it so horrible there that people want to leave by the millions to come to America.
Well, I mean, Mexico's an easy one, is it not? You
It is, but they're
criminal activity and poverty.
mainly going to Guatemala and Honduras.
Okay.
Because Mexico, we have a deal with Mexico that Mexico has troops on the border with Honduras so that they don't cross into Mexico and run through Mexico to get to America.
Really? Dang.
Yes. That's how much they want to leave that area of Central America.
I'm trying to think. I don't even really know what that place is totally like. Other than it being very
Poor.
poor. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess they're just trying to figure out how they can help these countries out so that it can fix the border issue without making America seem like a dick who only cares about ourselves.
Yeah. So
Which
are they
is,
just helping them in hopes that they're not coming to America, or is it?
they're helping them. No, they're not trying to say like, don't come to America, stay in your country. They're trying to say like, why do you want to leave your own country so badly?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to leave your country so badly that you're willing to get to America illegally instead of going through the legal process?
I've never quite understood the whole approach of keeping immigrants out and whatnot. I think we should just make the system better and easier to become legal and just allow as many people in as possible because they, at the end of the day, they're hardworking people. If they do commit crimes, which a lot of people like to say, then
Hmm.
they would be tried fairly and justly. And there's no downside. It's just more citizens. I guess there would have to be more jobs, but with the addition of more citizens comes more business, and in turn more jobs. I it's hard to say no against it when I've worked with multiple undocumented immigrants, and they're all amazing at what they do. They're
Yeah,
hardworking, skilled laborers who send most of their money back to their family, and
yeah.
they just want a chance, a better life, and we can give that to them, but we're like reluctant almost.
Hmm. It's just, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know my opinion on it. I'm very on the fence about it
Mm-hmm.
because, I think they should do it legally, but then the other part of me is like, but they can come here. It's just, I mean, illegal immigration, by definition, is illegal,
Yeah.
and I don't, can they eventually start working on being an illegal immigrant and like, if they come here
Um,
illegally, can they go and apply for citizenship without being arrested and deported?
I'm not too sure.
Because if they can, then that changes my opinion entirely.
Yeah. I think the fact that people are coming here illegally just speaks to the fact of how bad our system is. It's like people
Yeah,
are so desperate, they're willing to get arrested and deported just for a chance. It's like, let's just give out better chances, you know?
hmm.
Let's just
I
make
mean,
these people
it used to
citizens.
be Edison Island. Like people would come in on ships, we'd have them done in like what, 2 hours, get
Yeah.
them out of there, get them into the country, and that's what Biden. I saw. Remember, it was like 2 months ago. I saw an article that Biden was thinking of doing an Edison Island style on the Mexico border. How like we'd get them in there, test, say you got COVID, hey, do a background check. All right, apply,
Mm-hmm.
start working towards citizenship.
That'd be great.
And I feel like
Be
the
perfect.
main issue that a lot of people have is that if you're not a documented citizen, you don't pay taxes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I totally
Which,
understand. But
yeah, taxes are a pretty, uh, kind of, only kind of important.
they're a little bit, not too much. It's just, I think the main gripe that people have with it is that, at least ever since I've been paying taxes, it always seems unfair that there's others out there who don't, or who pay
Yeah.
less. It's like, I work my ass off just to pay the government my
I think
3 cents. They don't.
I think that's the whole point is that why should these hardworking citizens who pay these taxes, they get some of their money taken away by taxes, and yes, these illegal immigrants are working just as hard, but their money isn't getting taken away in taxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're keeping all of it, and then these citizens are getting not getting all of it, taxes.
I totally get it.
I almost
I
said
sympathize.
Americans, but I said citizens because I didn't want to be Anglo-Saxon
Yeah.
only. Because, and especially reading that article we had read today about how Japanese Americans were so racially profiled in
Mm-hmm.
1941. Because, like, President Roosevelt, he even had, like, some staffer go out and see, like, the average Asian American, or not Asian American, Japanese American, who, like, if they seemed as if a threat to them, as like if they're gonna turn imperial, and the guy came back and said like, nah, most of them are like really
Yeah.
patriotically American, and it's just crazy to me like these patriotic Americans. just because they're Japanese, we're gonna put them in concentration camps? No, of course, no. They're not Hitler concentration camps, but they're still camps.
It's so terrible. I remember reading a book about it in fifth grade. It was from the perspective of a Japanese family who separated
Hmm.
inside a camp, and it is just crazy because it's like reading a book of the Nazis. I understand it's
Yeah,
not the same. It's just
it's it's
the
crazy to think that
fact that
it
we did
happened
it.
in America.
Yeah, that's the
You
real
don't.
blow.
It's like, wow, we really did that.
Uh huh.
We're fucked up.
We're fucked up, and people have drawn parallels to us keeping, Mexican immigrants in these cages, which
Yeah,
I can understand.
but yeah, kind of, but it's not nearly as bad as what it was.
No, I think the Japanese camps are probably a bit worse. I hope
Yeah,
so. At least I hope. Whoa, okay. I don't mean it like that. I hope. I'm saying I hope the Mexicans are being treated better
yeah,
because I've seen
I
their
agree.
conditions, and it those facilities kind of look horrible. How the kids are all in this one section and the parents are
Yeah,
somewhere else. It's
it's weird.
bizarre. It doesn't feel real.
All right, these next two are by you, and after these last two, we have the less uh polarizing things to
Yeah,
talk about, I guess you could say.
the fun
I
stuff.
didn't want to say happy because one of them isn't really happy.
One of them is not happy at all.
Yeah.
Alright, so I just want to talk real quick about Adam. What do you say his name? Last name? Toledo?
Um, Adam Toledo, yeah.
Adam Toledo. Let me pull up. So I don't know too much about this, but there has been, I'd say, what, 3 or 4 shootings recently?
Mm-hmm.
In an alarming rate. Um, and
Yeah.
so this was a 13-year-old child. It was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Basically, the story goes he was running at night, and I believe he was running from the cops. For that, I don't know why, but the
I,
police. Do you know why?
I thought he was just out on a run at 2 a.m. and they ran up on him and were like, "What are you doing?" Uh, I don't know the whole
Could
story.
be. That'd be even worse. But
Yeah.
basically, he turns down an alley, and the police start like really chasing him. They're yelling, "Please stop, stop right fucking now!" And as Adam turns to face the police, man, he puts up his hands, and you can clearly see it's like this scared little white boy, and
Mm-hmm.
he gets shot, and he dies, and it's awful because we don't totally know why the police were chasing them so heavily, and B, it is clearly shown that the cop sees him on the body cam. He has a flashlight on him with his hands in the air, and he just immediately shoots.
It's fucked.
It is so awful. Even says in the video, "Show me your hands," and the kid does directly afterwards, and he's shot for it. And there's just been too many examples like this recently. There was another kid who, what was that guy's name? There's another kid who died by the cops earlier, right?
I don't know his name, but I know he was like a 12-year-old kid in Baltimore, Maryland, who was playing with an airsoft gun in his driveway, and he was being retarded, and he decided to point the airsoft gun at the policeman, and the policeman shot him and killed him.
Cop fucking shot him, bro. I understand how you can make an argument. He was acting in his own self-defense. I get it, sure,
Yeah,
but it's hard
but
to see it that way.
the policeman could have played it a lot differently,
Yeah,
and if he played it differently, that kid wouldn't have gotten shot.
would it even have been on the news? It would have been just a misunderstanding.
It would have been a misunderstanding between a 12-year-old kid and a police officer.
Mm-hmm. Which is what this 13-year-old Adam should have ended up being a
Yeah.
misunderstanding.
That's what a lot of these should have been.
Awful. I know. They're so bad.
Misunderstandings that. And the thing about the Baltimore kid is that the cop had been in the police force for 7 months,
Mm-hmm.
so he was new.
Lack of training. I'm sure other cops, like you had said earlier, probably would have understood. The small kid might
Mhm.
not have a gun pointed at them. Could be
Yeah, this is
airsoft or
gonna
something.
sound a bit cringe for me to say, but he might have been lack of training because of defunding the police.
Mm. Could be.
I don't know how Maryland's been about that. I don't know if they've defunded anybody,
Yeah,
but hey, something to think about.
it is. I've never totally agreed with the whole defunding of the police personally. I think if we need better training, better cops, there should be more funding.
I agree.
Just seems logical. But I guess if we want worse cops, we should defund the police. It's our
I
motto.
agree. I don't agree with defunding the police.
Yeah, it's stupid. It has no basis. But
All right.
yeah, I just want to talk about that real quick. Let's move on.
Next one is Florida banning transgender students in sports, and it would allow schools to subject minors to genital inspections. Oh my god.
I really threw this one on you.
I didn't look into this one at all.
Yeah, so this is recent. Okay, so I want to speak lightly, you know, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but my stance is that if you're a transgender playing in the sport in which sex you were not born in, so if it was a male who transitioned into a girl and then played on the girls team, I believe that's wrong. It's just unfair. I mean,
Uh-huh.
shouldn't
get
be a
it.
thing.
You want to play sports and you want to be, play in the team that you identify with.
Yeah.
But there's also just a level of unfairness because men and women are, this is gonna sound really fucking stupid, built differently.
I mean, quite literally. There are some sports where women could be much better in. It's
Yeah.
just you can't do a deadlifting competition and compare male and female.
Exactly.
It is so
'Cause-
unfair.
Yeah, because was it you or someone else I knew, but their like PE teacher was
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
this, and they were like, they lifted like 300 pounds. They're like, all right, I just broke the record for
For the female. the-
female lifting record.
Yeah, that was at my school. The PE teacher
Yeah.
is the first day of weightlifting apparently, and he does it every year. It goes to show it's not meant to be offensive to women. It's just there to highlight the differences in biology.
Yeah.
Even someone who hasn't trained much, I mean, we're just stronger in that aspect.
Exactly.
And so that's
We're
what,
two skinny ass white kids.
yeah,
Like,
I
But-
might get beat by a woman, but not
I feel
everyone.
like yeah. If it was like me versus another woman who has done no arm training, I'd have a biological advantage.
Oh yeah.
Now, a woman who's done training, they'd probably fucking destroy me.
I was gonna say some of those UFC fighters
There's
would
some
beat my
buff
ass.
women, and yeah, there are women that are scary. What was that? What's that one really famous one?
TikTok lady.
No. She like re-entered the scene a while back or something. I forgot her name,
I don't know.
but it's been but yeah, it's not like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't. I'm dumb as fuck.
I agree. But I mean, I guess one example of it is everybody knows Caitlyn Jenner, who was once
Mhm.
formerly Bruce Jenner. He was one of the best
a Football
Olympians.
player. Wasn't he football?
Nah, he was Olympics.
Oh.
I don't know if he might have played football, but he was like he's one of the highest awarded gold medalists. And the thing is, if he was to play in a female sport. I'm not sure about now, but it just goes to show one of the best athletes we have ever seen playing in a opposite sex
Hmm.
sport.
Oh, he
Is
was a track star.
Was he? Okay. He was really
Wow.
good too.
That is weird to look at Caitlyn Jenner and then look at Bruce Jenner.
It's very changed. She was recently on the Masked Singers. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
She wasn't
I did
wearing a
not.
mask. It's the funniest thing ever. She's just wearing
And
makeup. It's like, oh,
the
who is this?
funniest thing about me is, to me, is that she's a Republican.
Oh yeah, man. I love it. She's running for what? California governor?
If Gavin Newsom gets recalled, he's gonna
Uh-huh.
run for California governor.
That's gonna be interesting. I wonder how
Very
much
interesting.
backing she'll get. We'll
Probably not
see.
much. It's California, so.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's what this whole fairness in women's sports act is all about. They will now have the rights to well, it says here, in cases where a student's biological sex is disputed, the law authorizates schools to require health examinations or documentations from the student's personal health care provider. So basically just checking their
Okay.
actual gender, and a lot of people don't
Oh,
like
so
that.
basically, it's requiring a physical, which
Hmm.
most sports already do.
But it's more of a in-depth kind of physical,
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean.
checking your genitalia, which
It's not
usually they
like
don't.
your PE teacher's gonna be like, all right, put on your pants.
Yeah, it's not. It's not, but a lot of people don't agree with it. So,
I mean, I agree and disagree. Like, I agree, they want to be able to identify and play in the sport that they identify with, but it's just unfair.
truly is. That's what really boils down to it. Sports are meant to be fair. That's why we don't allow the use of enhancing drugs and whatnot. It's an
But at the
even
same
playing
time,
field.
how many trans people end up wanting to play sports?
Not that many. That's the thing. It's not that big of an issue. That's why this always makes me frustrated
Hmm.
on why people are so outspoken about it. It's because the amount of like trans population is incredibly low.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of trans people, but for whatever reason it has become such a big debatable topic, which I don't get.
Just because they try to make it seem like they don't have the same rights as I do,
Hmm.
which I'm pretty sure that's been fixed. Is it not? Like, they're allowed to get married in majority of states. Meh. The I know the federal law says they're allowed to get legally married.
Yeah.
I'm into gay people now. I'm sorry, I'm a different subject.
I was gonna say, I think they can always get married.
Yeah.
I don't know what other rights they'd be fighting for other than like
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, they're
bathroom.
classified as human beings,
Yeah.
and the Constitution states every human being, now it does, but it states every human being has the same rights.
Hmm.
So, I don't know.
I don't
It's
get
not
it
like they're not
personally.
allowed to vote because you're
Yeah.
trans.
It's like it's one of those. It's a fight for nothing almost.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far because there's some fucked up laws. Like Arkansas passed a law that says that doctors are allowed to deny transgender people if because it goes against the religion.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's a fucked up law,
That's really fucked up. Yeah.
which goes against
The code.
um the code, which is you have to give medical help to anybody who needs it.
Yeah. Regardless of religion, that's stupid.
Regardless of religion, what the person has done. If you see someone in like critical need, you have to go help them.
Mm-hmm. It's just how it should be. Regardless, I don't. That's
Yeah.
oh stupid. All right. You wanna move
So
on?
now onto a less controversial topic, but
Yes.
still
Yes. Yes.
a sad one. As you all know, Prince Philip passed away.
Rest in peace.
That's rest in peace, Prince Philip. Another thing that's funny to me about him is that people tried to cancel him on Twitter and call him a Nazi whenever he literally went and fought Nazis in World War II.
Yeah. He's so old.
Posthumous.
He's 99.
They tried to cancel him posthumously on the day he died
That is awful.
for being a Nazi whenever he went and fought Nazis. It's fucked up.
That hurts, dude.
But then another sad death. We all remember in love the Welcome to Chili's vine and the Adam vine. We all love those. That guy died.
Legendary. He was young.
He
Very
died
young.
at 24.
Do you know what he died of?
No, I don't.
Neither do
But I know he's dead.
And
It's so sad.
it's so sad. It's like the first Vine star to go.
Like, I saw something about people like, man, people are really more upset about a Vine star dying than Prince Philip dying. Yes,
Yeah.
the same way that's messed up. But when Prince Philip was 99, he was kind of expected to die semi-soon. This man died at the young age of 24.
Exactly.
His life had just started still.
Plus, I just had an emotional tug because, we grew up on Vine. I used
We
to make
grew up
Vines
on
every
Vine.
day, bro.
Like, I didn't have an emotional tug to Prince Philip. Like, maybe if I was English, I'd have more of
Yeah.
a bond to him. But, like, no. I'm not. We all grew up on Vine. We all remember laughing at those videos, thinking it's the funniest thing to ever exist.
Who would have thought 6-second clips, dude? They're so good. They're so
They are.
good. Oh, it's sad.
But now, to go on
Okay.
to happier things and funnier things. So Charlie knows nothing about this one, and I didn't really either. But so there's this New Jersey lady who runs for governor of New Jersey every year to be on the Democratic primary. Her name is Lisa McCormick. Now, she was not officially elected to be on it, so she tried to get some people to sign her petition to get on it. And a judge reviewed it. And every single signature was proven to be false.
Are you serious? Every
All
single
19
one?
She got 1,900 signatures. Every single one was proven to be false.
She couldn't even get one?
Couldn't even get one.
Oh, no.
And guess what one of the signatures was?
Who?
This is the fake person they put it as. They put first name, middle name, last name.
Almost got away with it too.
They literally, as one of the signatures, they put the person as their name is
no.
first name, middle name, last name. And there was another one, and it was Jose 8.
8? Like the number?
The entire thing was Jose and then the number 8.
That's a great name. Hey, Jose 8.
And no wonder a
Okay.
judge was like, "Are you?" I would have loved to see the courtroom whenever the judge showed the evidence to her.
Oh, man.
What do you say?
You just laugh. That's all
I
you
would
really
just-
can do.
Be like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so funny to me.
That is hilarious, dude.
You want to talk about
1900. Oh.
the monkey, or do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about. I'll talk about the monkey. Then you
Okay.
get the next one. Basically, Pager the monkey. She is fantastic, and if you know anything about Tesla and Elon Musk, he's inventing this device called the Neuralink, which is basically an implant inside the head, and it is eventually going to help with the disabled to better function in this world. It's going to be effectively a cure for like Alzheimer's and all these different things. And they put in a monkey called Pager, and she's now playing Pong, the video game, with her mind.
It's so fucking cool.
It is so cool. I love it.
Because they had her, they do this calibration thing where they give her a joystick and she moves her little cursor around to calibrate it. And eventually, after a while, then once they get enough neuron signaling, they'll unplug the joystick and she'll be calibrating it with her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're done calibrating, they'll let her play Pong.
And then
And
they took away the joystick
They
altogether.
took away the joystick altogether, and so she's literally just playing Pong with her mind.
And she's good. She's not
And yeah,
bad.
she's goaded.
Goaded on the sticks or no sticks. She's just
Goaded without sticks.
yeah. It is so impressive. I mean, this is a feat that has never been done before.
It's once if Elon Musk said he wants to use the technology first for paraplegics to type faster on
Hmm.
text, like text faster than someone with their thumbs. That's what he wants. The first thing he wants to do is be able to get that. Then after that, he wants to be able to get the technology advanced enough that it can help someone be able to walk again. Which that would just be amazing. That would be what an advancement in human
It
technology.
would be so good. I mean, it's just awesome to think about this technology and all the potential that it truly has. Because,
Entertainment and helping humanity was.
oh yeah, it could reshape society as we know it, and it could also be the next greatest VR, which is what
Hmm.
I'm all about. Like,
But it is also a little
it'd be
bit
great.
scary.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You know, you
Now,
think you're
if
gonna
I
get
was,
hacked or something.
no, here's the thing for me is, if I was someone who was disabled, I would take any chance I could get to walk
Mm-hmm.
again. So I would gladly sign up for it. But since I don't have any disability, I would, I'm a little bit hesitant to get a chip implanted into my brain.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I
That's,
get it.
it's just a little scary. And, those are, you get movies made out of shit like that.
Yeah. In all those sci-fi movies, it's always a group where like the majority confirms they're all cybernetic and whatnot, and then you always
Yeah, and
have the
then,
outcast who has nothing,
yeah.
which will probably be how it
I wonder if
is,
that's how anti-vaxxers think of themselves.
right? The outcast. It's like, thank you for
Being
keeping the
retarded.
COVID with yourself. You're really helping. Gosh, I love it. You want to take
But
off?
yeah, Page of the Monkey is
Legend.
a legend.
A
So
goat.
this next story, greatest thing to ever come out of Connecticut. Don't quote me on
True.
that. So basically, there was this beefalo, which is a mix between a buffalo and a cow, named Buddy. And Buddy, his life was coming to an end. He had lived his greatest life. He was fattened up, and he was being taken to the meat processing plant. And once he got there, though, he hatched his final plan to escape and finish out his life the way he wants to. So he escaped the meat processing plant and he got out of there. And this happened August of 2020. And you're probably wondering, well, why are you talking about this now on April 17th, 2021? Well, that's because 3 days ago they caught him
They
after 6 months.
fucking
They
found him.
fucking found Buddy the Beefalo. Now, I did say it's from Connecticut, but that's because he was from Massachusetts and they took him up to Connecticut, or I guess down to Connecticut to the meat processing plant. And he had been living in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and he was able to evade capture with a long web of residents who provide food and care for the beefalo, and he would make stops at each house occasionally. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why would these residents help him out? They helped him out, but the police found him because of these residents. They worked with these residents to catch Buddy.
Oh,
And you're
really?
probably, yeah,
Oh,
they didn't just corner him in an alley and say, "We got you now, buddy.
there he
You're
is.
not getting out of here."
Put your hands up.
Now, you're probably thinking, well, now he's gotten caught. His life's really gonna end now. He's going back to the meat processing plant. No, because of his fame, he has earned himself a full ride to I forgot what it's called, Critter Creek Farm Sanctuary in Florida. He's going to be retired and live out his life happy in a pasture instead of going to a meat processing plant.
That
So
is
in the
so
end,
cool.
his plan worked.
It did.
He got out of the meat processing plant and he's living a happy life now.
He overcame all odds. This is like
And
the one of those gladiator stories, you know, you have to fight for your freedom.
yeah,
He escaped and he
he
was
really did. It's
free.
so crazy. He was on the run and they had no clue where he went.
Yeah.
They literally thought he died in the Connecticut winter.
Oh my gosh. He traveled quite a bit.
Yeah, they thought because he ran off and no one knew where he went that he just isolated himself and died in the winter. But
Yeah.
no, he just
I like to think
oh my
there's a
God.
large manhunt for Buddy. Like
I
when
don't
they
think they
knew
had
he was missing, there was helicopters.
they sent out a
State
manhunt
troopers.
for him. Oh my God, that'd be so funny.
Buddy!
I'm sure they had like one fucking cop looking for him.
Yeah, for real.
'Cause you're like, if we can't find this beefalo, it's not the end of the world.
It is. It's so awesome.
But
I'm
now
glad he's happy though.
he's going to a retirement facility and he's gonna
Hmm.
live happily ever after.
And hopefully we'll
Good on
join
you, buddy.
Pacer and play Pong together. Yeah, good job, buddy.
Dude, a cow and a monkey playing Pong together. Holy shit.
The future cyberpunk. Dun-
But yeah, good job, buddy.
good job.
You saved yourself from death.
Salutes.
And I think that's a good way to end it off. End it
Yeah,
off on a high note of a beefalo getting retirement.
I agree. Thank
Because
you
this was
everyone for
honestly,
watching.
this is a pretty controversial episode.
This was. We got heated.
And it did. I don't
Yeah.
know, I heated, but
Well, not cool.
yeah.
Lukewarm.
Alright. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya. Deuces.